Section 4 is all based on proving triangles congruent. The two methods that we're going to look at are side, 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 and side, angle, side. And if you remember back in Section 3, we actually proved triangles were congruent by showing everything in one triangle was congruent to everything in another triangle. That's actually way more than what you actually need to prove. So we're going to focus on these two methods. And the first method that we're going to look at is side, side, side. So if you can get all three sides in one triangle congruent to all three sides in another triangle, then you have the triangles being congruent. And you can see that's what they have done here. All three sides in triangle ABC is congruent to all the sides in triangle EDF. So let's try it. I've already written down, got our table started, statements and reasons. They say to use a flow proof. We're going to use a 2-column proof for every one of them, just because that's what we're most familiar with. I've got our givens written down already, and I'm going to put what I already specifically know being congruent. So we know that QR is congruent to SR. And we're trying to get the other two sides now specifically congruent. So one of them that I see is the one that's splitting right down the middle between the two triangles. If I'm trying to get triangle QRT congruent to SRT, QRT is over here, SRT is over here. I see that segment TR is part of both triangles and is therefore congruent to itself. We're going to say TR is congruent to TR by the reflexive property go on to step 3 now. I now have two sides in one triangle congruent to two sides in another triangle. The other sides that we're going for would be QT and TS. So let's just write those down. And now we have to come up with our reason for this. So going back up to the top, why is QT congruent to TS? That is going to come from one of our givens. If you see here, it says RT bisects QS. Since RT bisects QS, remember bisects cuts something straight down the middle or into two equal parts. So we're going to say, by definition of a bisector. And now we've come to our last step. Notice how we got three sides in triangle QRT congruent to three sides in triangle SRT. We can now say that our triangles are congruent, what we were trying to prove. So triangle QRT is congruent to triangle SRT. And the reason for this is based on side, side, side.